opportunity, greater influence, and a life shaped deliberately rather than accidentally. This is not an exaggerated promise, it is the natural outcome of behavior repeated consistently over time. Continue clicking forward, continue acting with intention, continue honoring your decisions, and allow discipline to quietly deliver what motivation never could: stability, strength, clarity, control, and a future built by choice rather than chance. To awareness, to return to responsibility, and to return to the part of yourself that knows you are capable of more than avoidance, more than excuses, and more than fear. More whole, not because everything is perfect, but because you are learning to accept yourself as you are while still believing in who you are becoming, and this balance between acceptance and growth is the quiet strength that carries you through uncertainty, reminding you that you are not lost. You are learning, not failing, you are evolving, and not alone. You are supported by your own resilience, your own awareness, and your own capacity to rise, again and again, with greater understanding and steadier hope. Faithfulness, the faithfulness to show up, to listen, to speak honestly, and to act with compassion. And in this faithfulness, the deepest form of loss is prevented, not by changing fate, but by honoring the present, and not by fighting time, but by using it wisely, because what truly keeps something alive is not hope alone, but attention, not intention alone, but action, and not emotion alone, but the steady choice to care before it is too late to make a difference. You stay present with what matters now. You act thoughtfully. You rest intentionally. You move forward with calm assurance. Remain here for a moment. Let this understanding settle. You continue to refine how you show up, calmer, clearer, more intentional. You don't rush growth. You respect its rhythm. You remain present with what's unfolding now. You move forward with care. You stay grounded in yourself. Let this calm support you. Breathe steadily. Moving whether you act or not, but only your actions decide whether you grow or remain where you are. This is not a warning to scare you, it is a reminder to empower you, to shake you awake, and to tell you that the power to change has always been in your hands. Start now, not because you feel ready, but because your future deserves your effort today. You walk forward knowing that you were created with intention, that you are capable of achieving more than you can currently see, and that the universe is preparing beautiful things that will align perfectly with your growth. You are meant to rise, meant to shine, meant to impact the world simply by being yourself. Continue your journey with hope in your heart and confidence in your spirit, because the best chapters of your life are not behind you, they are waiting ahead, and I am with you in every step you take. Remember that even stars cannot shine without darkness, and one day you will look back and realize that every setback was simply part of the setup for your comeback. Your dreams are calling you because they know you are capable, and the world is waiting for the moment you finally realize that too. Keep going with fire in your heart, possibilities in your mind, discipline in your actions, and faith in your steps, because the life you want is already on its way, and soon, everything will make sense. Take a slow breath and allow yourself to settle into this moment. There is nothing you need to rush. nothing you need to prove. This message is simply an invitation to pause, reflect, and listen with awareness. Sometimes life asks us to slow down not because something is wrong, but because something meaningful is unfolding. When you give yourself a moment of attention, clarity becomes easier to access. You begin to notice what truly matters. You may have felt distracted, pulled in different directions, or mentally tired. That's understandable. The world moves fast, and attention is constantly demanded. This moment is different. This is a space to reconnect with yourself. Notice your breath. Steady. Natural. Let it anchor you. When your breath steadies, your thoughts follow. You don't need to control them, just observe. You are here because you chose to listen. That choice already shows awareness. Awareness is where change begins. Not sudden, not dramatic, but real. You may be at a point where questions feel louder than answers. That's not a failure. It's a signal that growth is happening. Questions mean you're paying attention. You don't need to fear what's ahead. The future isn't something to battle, it's something you prepare for with calm decisions made today. Small, thoughtful steps create strong direction. You are allowed to pause. You are allowed to reconsider. You are allowed to move forward at your own pace. Progress doesn't require pressure. As you listen, notice what resonates and let go of what doesn't. This message is not a command, it's a reflection. Take what supports you. You may realize that strength doesn't always feel loud. Often, it feels quiet, steady, and grounded. It shows up when you respond instead of react. You've learned more than you give yourself credit for. Experience shapes wisdom slowly. You are carrying lessons that will support your next steps. Stay present with this calm. Let it settle in. And continue listening. As you remain with this moment, notice how simply paying attention begins to change your state. You don't need to fix anything right now. Awareness itself creates space, and space allows understanding to grow. You may notice thoughts arriving, plans, memories, concerns. Let them pass without judgment. They don't need answers immediately. Clarity often comes when the mind is allowed to soften. You are learning to listen beneath the noise. Beneath urgency. Beneath expectation. This deeper listening helps you recognize what deserves your energy and what does not. There is strength in choosing steadiness. When you slow your reactions, you gain perspective. When you gain perspective, decisions become clearer and calmer. You might realize that some things you've been holding tightly can be loosened. Not abandoned, just held with less tension. This easing creates relief and focus. You don't have to carry everything alone. Even acknowledging your limits is a As you continue listening, you may notice a gentle shift in how you relate to your thoughts. You don't chase them as quickly. You don't push them away either. You simply allow them to pass, like clouds moving across a wide sky. You begin to recognize patterns: what drains you, what restores you, what deserves your attention. This awareness helps you make quieter, wiser choices throughout your day. You understand that clarity is not something you force. It appears when you give yourself enough space to think without pressure. In that space, priorities rearrange themselves naturally. You may feel a renewed sense of steadiness. Not excitement, not urgency, just a calm readiness. This readiness supports consistent effort rather than rushed action. You see how your past experiences have shaped your judgment. They've taught you when to pause, when to proceed, and when to let go. These lessons are part of your strength. You notice how slowing down improves how you listen to others. Conversations feel less reactive and more thoughtful. This presence builds trust and understanding. You accept that not every moment needs resolution. Some things unfold over time. Allowing this reduces stress and protects your focus. You begin to value simplicity. Clear routines, honest communication, realistic goals. Simplicity creates room for what truly matters. You keep returning to your breath when attention wanders. Each return is a small reset, bringing you back to now. You remain steady. You remain aware. As this calm continues, you may start to feel more comfortable with where you are right now. Not because everything is resolved, but because you're no longer fighting the present moment. Acceptance creates stability. You notice that your reactions are softer. You pause before responding. That pause gives you choice, and choice gives you power. This is quiet strength. You begin to understand that growth doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it happens silently, through better habits, clearer boundaries, and kinder self-talk. You allow yourself to move forward without carrying unnecessary weight. Old expectations, outdated comparisons, and unhelpful pressure begin to loosen their grip. You realize that attention is valuable. Where you place it shapes your experience. You choose to invest it in what supports your well-being and progress. You become more aware of your energy levels. You rest when needed. You act when ready. This balance keeps you steady over time. You understand that mistakes are not interruptions to growth, they are part of it. Each one offers information, not judgment. You feel more grounded in your values. Decisions align more naturally with what matters to you, rather than what demands immediate reaction. You continue practicing patience with yourself. Learning is ongoing. Progress is layered. You allow this process to unfold without rushing it. Stay present with this steadiness. Let it support you. And continue listening. As you remain with this steady awareness, you may notice a deeper sense of trust forming within you. Not blind trust, but a grounded confidence that you can handle what comes, one step at a time. You begin to see how consistency shapes results. Small actions repeated calmly become reliable progress. You don't need to rush or overextend yourself to move forward. You notice how your inner dialogue softens. You speak to yourself with more patience and clarity. This shift reduces tension and supports better focus. You recognize that boundaries protect your energy. Saying no when necessary allows you to say yes to what truly matters. This balance keeps you aligned. You allow space for reflection without overanalyzing. Thinking becomes purposeful rather than draining. You choose perspective over worry. You see how gratitude quietly stabilizes your mood. Not forced positivity, just noticing what's steady, supportive, and present. You begin to trust your ability to adapt. Change no longer feels like a threat. It feels like information guiding your next adjustment. You accept that progress isn't linear. Some days are slower, some clearer. All of them contribute to growth. You stay grounded in the present. You move forward with intention. As this awareness deepens, you may notice a quiet sense of resilience. Not the kind that pushes through everything, but the kind that knows when to pause and when to proceed. You understand that clarity often arrives after patience. When you give situations time, unnecessary tension fades and important details become visible. You begin to respond more thoughtfully to challenges. Instead of reacting from habit, you consider your options. This measured response protects your energy. You see how your environment influences your state of mind. You make small adjustments, simplifying, organizing, creating space. These changes support calm focus. You allow yourself to release comparisons. Your path doesn't need to match anyone else's. Progress measured by alignment feels more sustainable. You become more comfortable with uncertainty. Not knowing everything doesn't weaken you, it keeps you open and adaptable. You trust that effort made with intention accumulates. Even when results aren't immediate, the foundation is forming. You return to your breath again, steady and grounding. Each breath reinforces presence. You stay steady. You stay aware. As you remain here, you may notice how calm creates clarity without effort. When the mind is not rushed, it begins to organize itself naturally. You recognize that not everything requires your immediate attention. Choosing what to engage with preserves focus and emotional balance. You sense a growing confidence in your ability to wait without anxiety. Waiting no longer feels like delay, it feels like preparation. You begin to act with intention rather than impulse. As this calm steadiness continues, you may notice how your attention becomes more refined. You focus on fewer things, but with greater care. This focus brings clarity without strain. You recognize that your time is valuable. You choose to spend it on actions and conversations that align with your values. This choice creates quiet confidence. You feel more comfortable trusting the process. Not everything needs immediate proof. Some results take shape gradually, in their own time. You observe how calm thinking leads to practical solutions. When emotions settle, options become clearer and decisions feel lighter. You begin to appreciate silence, not as emptiness, but as space. In that space, insight can surface without pressure. You allow yourself to move forward without self-criticism. Progress feels steadier when it's supported by understanding rather than force. You notice how presence improves your interactions. Listening fully strengthens connection and reduces misunderstanding. You stay grounded in simple actions, breathing, noticing, responding with intention. These small anchors keep you steady throughout the day. You remain aware. You remain balanced. As you settle into this steady rhythm, you may notice a quiet sense of completion beginning to form. Not an ending, but a feeling that you are aligned with where you are meant to be right now. You recognize that trust has grown, not in outcomes you can control, but in your ability to respond wisely. This trust reduces fear and strengthens patience. You understand that clarity often arrives after consistency. By staying present and attentive, you've allowed insight to develop naturally. You feel more comfortable letting go of what no longer serves you. Releasing doesn't feel like loss, it feels like making space. You acknowledge your effort without needing validation. Knowing you showed up with intention is enough. You remain open to learning. Each experience adds context, not pressure. Growth feels steady and sustainable. You return once more to your breath, calm and reliable. It reminds you that steadiness is always available. You carry this awareness forward, into movement, into rest, into the next moment, without urgency. You are grounded. You are prepared. You continue, calmly and clearly. As this final stretch unfolds, everything settles into a quiet integration. Nothing new needs to be added. What matters now is allowing what you've already sensed to take root. You recognize that steadiness is a skill you can return to at any time. It doesn't depend on circumstances. It begins with awareness. You move forward without rushing. Each step is intentional, guided by clarity rather than pressure. This pace protects your energy. You trust your ability to pause when needed and act when ready. Balance becomes natural when you listen closely to yourself. You notice how calm attention improves outcomes. Decisions feel cleaner. Effort feels lighter. You carry forward a simple understanding. Consistency shapes progress more reliably than intensity. You allow yourself rest without guilt and action without hesitation. Both are part of the same rhythm. You remain present. You remain steady. You continue with confidence. Day you stand on your success and say, I earned this, your power is real, your dream is real, your growth is real, and these hours are turning your potential into proof. So straighten your back, set your timer, take a deep breath, and lock in, because someone out there is dreaming about the life you are building, and one day they will thank you for proving that it's possible. Keep going. Greatness is already taking shape inside you. This next phase is about alignment. Not forcing anything, not waiting endlessly, just staying true to what feels right. You begin to notice how your inner signals are clearer now. Doubt doesn't disappear, but it no longer controls your direction. You understand that growth often happens quietly. No announcement. No rush. Just steady movement forward. You stop over-explaining yourself. Your actions speak with more accuracy than words ever could. You release the need to prove anything to anyone. Your path doesn't require permission. You allow patience to work on your behalf. What is meant to arrive does not miss its timing. You stay focused on what you can control, your effort, your attitude, your consistency. Each day becomes simpler when you prioritize clarity over chaos. You trust the process you are building, even when results are still forming. Now you begin to realize how far you've already come. The version of you that once felt lost would be proud of this calm strength. You no longer react to everything. You pause. You observe. You choose wisely. Silence becomes your power. Not everything needs a response, and not everyone deserves access to your energy. You understand that setbacks were not punishments, they were redirections. What tried to break you actually refined you. You feel more grounded in who you are, even when circumstances shift around you. You trust your intuition more than noise from the outside world. Peace becomes your priority, not because life is perfect, but because you've learned balance. You move forward without fear of the unknown, knowing you can handle whatever comes. As this awareness continues to deepen, you notice how much lighter your decisions feel. Not because they are effortless, but because they are aligned. When alignment is present, resistance fades. You stop questioning every step. You trust the direction you're moving in, even if the destination isn't fully visible yet. This trust steadies you. You recognize that clarity doesn't require constant certainty. It requires honesty with yourself. When you're honest about what matters, choices become simpler. You become more intentional with your words. You speak when it adds value. You remain quiet when silence serves you better. This balance strengthens your presence. You see how discipline